Welcome to Cat Mama Tarot. Thought I'd do things a little differently this week for our weekly reading. This is for the week of April 13th through April 19th, 2026. I've pulled a few oracle cards to see what our themes are this week. Then I did a Celtic cross and I clarified the Celtic cross and then pulled a shadow card, something to kind of potentially be working on this week. And finally, a few more oracle cards to give us some final advice and guidance for the week. So let's dive in. We start with the square, semi-square, quincunx. Easy for me to say. And you can see, well, now it's blurry, but it says under that tension. So yeah, you may be facing some tension. It's interesting because the bottom card was the 7th house, which is relationships. So this tension could be coming up in relationship with somebody else, or in relationships in general. So we'll see what else the cards say about that potential tension. We also have Freedom, Eagle Spirit, which is number 13 for April 13th, and Renewal, Frog Spirit. It's really neat where I am. I haven't heard them in a while, but at night the frogs start making themselves known in the lagoon in the back of my place. Anywho, freedom and renewal. So what I heard when I pulled those cards is that renewal leads to freedom, right? Then the last oracle cards I pulled before I started the Celtic cross was a Turkey Spirit, number 61, give with gratitude and grace, along with another freedom card, Horse Spirit, which is number 33. Freedom is yours. So what I heard there was with gratitude and with gratitude and grace comes freedom, basically. So those are some themes for the week. We've got some tension in relationship. We've got 2 freedom cards linked to renewal. So kind of renewing yourself, decluttering, kind of trying to create kind of a clean slate for yourself. That's going to be supporting freedom, as well as operating from a place of gratitude, as well as being, as gracious as you can be. And those could be ways that did I already say this? That you're navigating any tension that you might be experiencing. And when I say relationship, that's really any kind of relationship. That could be a work relationship, friendship, family, spouse, lover, child, any one-on-one relationship is what the 7th house speaks to. All right. At the heart of our reading here, the heart of the situation for this week, we've got the 4 of Wands, which is lovely. 4 of Wands is the 1111 card. It's a portal to what it is that you want, the life that you want to create, the life that you want to have. Kind of this notion of like, what is your happily ever after? Like, what do you envision when you think about something like that? I know that, there's probably no such thing as happily ever after, really. We're always going to be facing some kind of challenges in life because it's all about continued learning and growth. But when you think about like, oh, what would make me really happy? What is it that I want to commit to? Right? What do you envision for yourself? That is what the 4 of Wands represents. And with that 4 of Wands, we've got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups to me signifies following your heart, right? By following your heart, that's going to help you move towards what it is that you want to create. And influencing the 4 wands, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So that's going to also, there are opportunities available to you with the Ace of Pentacles. They are not get rich quick kind of opportunities. They are seeds that are planted that take time. So there's the need for patience. There's the need for, tending to the seeds that you plant in order to get them to the point where you can harvest them and reap the rewards. The clarifying card for the Ace of Pentacles was Judgment. So you're being called to rise up, and you have an opportunity to rise up and take advantage of the opportunities that are available. But the key, I think, so far is to follow your heart, to let your heart guide you, not so much your head. Your focus, or your conscious mind, is the Death card. Now the Death card can, it's not meant to be scary like literal death. It's more, the Death card is more about endings and beginnings. So you can see that there's the sun shining behind this the words are escaping me right now. But this bringer of endings, right, is also the bringer of new beginnings. And along with that, we've got the Six of Cups, which in this case in particular speaks of the past, speaks of things from childhood, or potentially things that are affecting you, kind of that inner child. And so what this says to me is that this week, it's interesting, we're having more themes of change, really, but this week is about, you're focused on ending something and beginning something new. And whatever it is that you're ending is likely something that relates to your childhood, right? So it could be that you're healing something from your past, right? And you're letting go of something from your past so that you can clear space and make way for this new beginning. It could be a relationship that you're ending. Maybe it's a relationship that has gone on for a long time. But it doesn't have to be either of those things, right? It could be a job. It could be a way of operating. It could be a way of thinking. So, but something is coming to a close. Something is coming to a close, and it has some relationship with your inner child, or something from childhood. So something's being activated there with regard to your childhood. Your subconscious mind card is the Lovers. And the Lovers is, for me, it's all about loving yourself unconditionally, which stems from complete acceptance of yourself, and then making choices that reflect that love and acceptance for yourself. And when we do that, then we can open ourselves, the Empress, to receiving what it is that we want, receiving all that we want, receiving abundance, receiving love, right? The Empress also speaks to birthing something new, as well as nurturing ourselves and taking care of ourselves. So these are the keys to keep in mind as you're going through this transformation, as you're ending something and, beginning something new. In the past, the recent past, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So you've been thinking about what it is that you want to be creating in your life. You've been thinking about, like, what is my legacy? What am I doing here? What do I really want to do with my life? What do I want to create? What do I want my life to look like? What are all of the components that would make up this life that I want, right? And with the Emperor clarifying that, you've been taking action towards that. You've been moving in the direction of what it is that you want. You've been taking the lead, stepping into your power, and starting to move yourself towards what it is that you want to create. In the immediate future, we've got clarity, the Ace of Swords. And that clarity, in part at least, see if I can pick up this card without hurting it. There we go. The clarity is going to come from doing an honest assessment of where you are, where you've been, what's working well, what's not working well, what's worth your time and energy. What do you want to put your time and energy and resources in? What's going to actually give back? That is going to contribute to even more clarity as you're moving forward here. You're showing up as the Page of Wands. So you are ready to go. You are ready to start on some new creative endeavor, creative project. You're ready to move towards what you're passionate about. And at the same time, you're ready to close the door on anything that's been causing you pain or restriction, or, any relationships that aren't serving you, anything that is really creating more harm than good in your life. Oh, and there's Lola, confirmation meow from Lola. I don't know if you heard that. What's going on around you in the environment is the Page of Swords. So there's some kind of information coming in. There's some kind of information coming in. That doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be like a piece of, like a text or an email or like that kind of communication. It could be, but it could also just be information from your experience. It could be, technically, the Page of Swords is generally going to focus on communication. In some sense, this card speaks to gathering information or collecting information or doing research or starting to gather information. But because it's in the environment card, I feel like information is coming to you. And it's helping you know and get clear on what it is that you want to leave behind. What it is that, with the Eight of Cups, what it is that's not really serving you anymore. It could have been something that was serving you, but now you're kind of like, I don't feel like this is actually working for me anymore, or this isn't getting me where I want to go, or this isn't providing me with what it used to provide for me. And that's linked to this, that's the information that seems to be coming in. It's kind of helping you get clear on what's not really working anymore and what you'd benefit from kind of leaving behind. In the advice position, we have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is here to tell you, you've got this. Hang in there. You've been through a lot. You're feeling like the wounded warrior, perhaps, or at least some of you are. You're feeling like, when is this going to end? Do I have to, is this what life is about? Just facing challenge after challenge, obstacle after obstacle, conflict after conflict, battle after battle. That's kind of where this person is at, right? They're just weary from fighting or feeling like they're always kind of battling or overcoming. But what this card says is that you are actually at the end of this chapter. You are at the 9, and the 10 is the end and the beginning. So hang in there. By being persistent, by being resilient, and knowing that you're going to get through this and that it's almost over, it's going to help you get through any remaining challenges that you might face. And moving towards more equanimity. I love that we have the Seven of Pentacles in the same row with this card in the immediate future. It then leads to this advice. So it's like by assessing, the Seven of Pentacles was telling to assess what's working and not working and what we want to put our energy into, right? And the Six of Pentacles is a situation that feels balanced, that feels like there's equal give and take, that feels like you're getting out of it what you're putting into it, that you're receiving, that you're kind of the recipient of generosity. You also might be the one who is being generous, or, you know, a lot of times when we feel like we're the recipient of generosity, it helps us feel more generous with others as well. Again, speaking to that equanimity. All right, and then in the outcome, we've got the Magician, the Universe or the World card, and, excuse me, the Knight of Wands. So let's start with one at a time. It's easier for me to hold them up. Oh, if I could pick the right card. All right, let's start with the Magician here. The Magician is reminding you that you have available to you all of the resources that you need to create the life you want, to cultivate what it is that you want. So it's important to believe and trust that you have the resources that you need. You just have to look around. You just have to open yourself, like the Empress is telling us. Open yourself to receive, right? Open yourself to be able to see the opportunities available, to get the clarity you need, to see what is available and accessible to you, what resources there are there that can help you accomplish what it is that you want. We also have the Universe, which is another card that speaks to the end of a chapter. So you've got three cards here. You've got the Death card, you've got the Judgment card, which is also kind of a card about kind of stepping into a new beginning, a new version of yourself. And we've got the World or the Universe card, which is closing out a big chapter in your life. So this is kind of a big deal here, this ending and this new beginning. It's not just something small. It feels like it's kind of the ending of a pretty big phase of your life. Oh, and we also have two aces as well, and the Magician, which is a 1. So again, speaking to the beginning that follows the ending. And you've got the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands is all about following your passion, right? It's the next card after the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is initiating that project, starting to move in the direction of what you're passionate about. And the Knight of Wands is like taking that baton and running with it. The Knight of Wands is like, I know what I want and I'm going after it. The only thing to be a little wary of, or just aware of with the Knight of Wands, is to not be too impulsive, not be too fiery, not be in too much of a hurry. Let that passion fuel you, but don't run out of gas, you know. And we are in Aries season, and there are a lot of planets. Many planets are in Aries right now. So there is a lot of momentum here for new beginnings. Clarifying our 3 outcome cards, we've got the Hanged. Well, in this deck, it's the Suspended Person or the Hangman. So this is encouraging you to take time out to pause, right? We've got that Knight of Wands. We were just talking about, like, not being too impulsive, not rushing too fast, letting that passion fuel you, but not kind of getting ahead of yourself. So taking time out to pause and make sure that you are seeing different perspectives on the situation, on the endings and new beginnings that are occurring this week. We also have Pan, which is the Devil. So this is speaking to, and I think I'm going to talk about this with the Five of Cups, because I think really, actually, I think all these three really go together. I'm really having a hard time picking the cards up off the table. Sorry about that. All right. So the three of these together, what they're saying to me is to, you have an opportunity to shift your perspective away from any attachment to negative emotions that are going to kind of keep you in the past and limit you from your ability to move forward. And because we really want to close out this chapter so that we can get into that new chapter, right? The renewal, right? We want to clear out the old and really close the door behind us so that we can really step into this new beginning, right? And have a clean slate. So we have to, the Devil card is really speaking to the need to detach. And with the Five of Cups here, it's saying that there's a need to detach from past disappointments, right? And to really shift your perspective towards what's working, to shift your perspective towards what it is that you want to create in your life. What would life look like if there were no disappointments, right? I'm not saying that there won't be any disappointments, but to try to shift your focus and your attention and kind of shift your perspective away from disappointing past experiences that you might be holding on to and that, you know, are kind of outstaying their welcome. All right. Our shadow card is the Two of Cups. So what this is saying is that there's a real need to shed old skins that are restricting you, that are, you know, gnawing at you or biting at you, or, you know, look at those teeth on those snakes, right? Like when you think of the Two of Cups is all about love. It can be love and relationship, but it can also be self-love. And actually, you know, love and relationship starts with love of ourselves. So this card is speaking to potential work that needs to be done regarding loving ourselves, filling our cup, shedding old skins, shedding the past, especially past beliefs or programming that somehow make it hard for you to love yourself. Because when we don't love ourselves, right, when we operate like this towards ourselves, what this image represents, then it's very hard to be in relationship with others and not have those same beliefs, behaviors come out, right? And create that tension that might be playing out in relationship. We also have at the bottom of the deck the Nine of Swords. So another thing that might be coming up that might require some attention, some work, is getting, you know, caught up in worries, fears, anxieties, right? And so that also speaks to that hanged man, suspended person, and the need to get present, quiet your mind, pause, so that you can move away from any fears and anxieties and worries, get into the present moment, and, you know, kind of let go, shift your perspective away from anxious or worried or fearful thoughts. Because that's what all they are, is thoughts, right? So it's really important to recognize that. And the more you can focus on filling your cup and loving yourself, right, which is what this one is speaking to, the easier it is to kind of let go of those negative thoughts. All right. So our final oracle cards for our final advice and guidance. First, we got closure along with dreams, which to me is just reiterating this message of endings and beginnings, right? We're closing out the old so that we can move towards our dreams and start this on this path that takes us in that direction. We also have truth and courage. So in order to let go of the past, in order to have closure on the past, it requires that we really see the truth of things, right? Sometimes that means we see the truth of, like, the origin of the voices in our heads, right? Like, or the critic, right? We can look at the past and realize, oh, that's not me. That's, my dad or my mom or that teacher, right? So it's like letting go of those old stories, seeing the truth of how you might be kind of rehashing old tapes that have nothing to do with you, or have nothing to do with your life and who you are and what you want to create. And sometimes, that can take courage. That can take courage to look at the truth of things, to look honestly at yourself also and say, like, what am I doing that's working for me and what am I doing that's not working for me? That also takes courage to look at honestly at ourselves and really, when we're doing that assessment that the Seven of Pentacles speaks to be really honest with ourselves. The more honest we can be, the better off we're going to be, right? But that can take some courage to look at things how they are, or like if you're in a relationship that's making you miserable, but you've been in it for a long time, right? It takes courage to look at the truth of that and make a decision that's going to really reflect that complete and total love and acceptance for yourself. It's not always easy. And finally, we've got first quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurity. And once again, the message reiterating the need for gratitude. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius. Practice gratitude. So by practicing gratitude, getting in a space of gratitude, seeing what it is that you are grateful for in your life, that will help you push through your insecurities, right? Because that helps you get present. And really, I feel like this whole reading is just kind of confirming itself, right? We're ending something, and that a phase of our life that maybe there was some pain involved. Maybe it's connected to old things from our past, right? So we're closing out the old. We're starting anew. We're creating a fresh start for ourselves. We're helping ourselves by focusing on what it is that we really want. We're making ourselves open to receive and see the opportunities that are available to us, to see clearly what it is that we want to continue to do, what it is that we want to let go of, what's not serving us anymore. We want to make sure that we really allow ourselves to close out whatever this chapter is in order to be able to bring in the new, trusting that this is ending, that we are moving out of a very challenging time where we're going to move into a time when there's more ease, where we are going towards what it is we want to commit to, going towards our dreams, moving towards freedom. Freedom is yours. Freedom is yours. Key words here are gratitude, grace, courage, truth, renewal, and love, and closure. Yeah, you've got this. It looks to be you know, a week that maybe won't be without its challenges, but you've got this. You've got this. You are on the path. We also have the chariot here at the bottom of the deck, reminding us that we are on the path to success, right? You are on the path to success. Success being what it is that you want to create in your life. So trust that. Trust yourself. All right. That's what I've got for you. I hope you have a great week. Take good care of yourself. Sending you lots of love, sending you lots of support. And yeah, remember, you got this. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.